Hello, and a warm welcome to Philosophy 2131, Ethics, Theory, and Application. I'm glad you've registered. Be sure to watch this lecture in its entirety before the first day of class. I'm your instructor, Jeffrey Brand. I'm stuck in this little box in the corner of the screen for the next 6 weeks. When I'm not in this little box, I'm an associate professor of philosophy at the George Washington University in Washington, D.C., where I've taught since 2002. You may see me referred to as Jeffrey Brand Ballard in various places, but I've shortened my name. I'm an analytical philosopher and an attorney by training. I teach and conduct scholarly research in the areas of ethical theory and legal philosophy. This lecture introduces you to the format of the course, my expectations for you, and the content. This is an introductory course. It doesn't assume any special skills or background, and there are no prerequisites. The material is very similar to the traditional classroom version of the course that I've developed. But here, the learning takes place entirely online. This may or may not be a good format for you, depending on your individual learning style. The most important thing to understand about this online course is that it's entirely asynchronous. That means there are no specific times when you have to be online. Some people imagine that online courses involve lectures and discussions taking place in real time over the internet, like a multiplayer online game or teleconference. That's not how it works. You don't have to show up for class at a particular hour. All the lectures are pre-recorded, and you can view them at your convenience. You can log on anytime and make progress toward your goals. Of course, there are deadlines on the syllabus, and those will be enforced. Keep in mind that the deadlines refer to the time zone of the eastern United States. You have to meet those deadlines, whatever your local time zone may be. The asynchronous format of this course makes it convenient for you to fit the coursework into your weekly schedule. However, you should budget as much time for this course as you would for a traditional 3-credit class. The workload is comparable. I normally respond to emails within 24 hours and return assignments within 72 hours. I'll hold virtual office hours at times listed on the syllabus. During my office hours, you're welcome to contact me via Skype. You'll need basic computer skills to complete this course. At least a few days before class begins, you'll want to obtain all the necessary software and confirm that it works well with your hardware. The software you'll need includes Adobe Reader, Adobe Flash Player, an updated web browser such as Internet Explorer, Firefox, or Google Chrome, and Microsoft Word or another word processor that can produce RTF, doc, or docx files. You'll also need Skype if you plan to visit my virtual office hours. The course is taught using a web-based platform called Blackboard, which you may have used in traditional classes. Everything happens within Blackboard, so you'll want to become familiar with it soon if you're not already. Most of the assigned readings are found in 2 textbooks, both by Russ Schaefer Landau of the University of Wisconsin. The Fundamentals of Ethics was written by Schaefer Landau himself. The Ethical Life is an edited anthology of readings. Be sure to get the second editions, published by Oxford University Press in 2012. These books are available at a discount as a bundle, including both books. The Fundamentals of Ethics is also available as an electronic book from the Oxford University Press website. All other readings are posted on Blackboard under electronic reserves. All the readings in the course are required. There are no optional readings, although I'm happy to recommend further readings if you ask for them. It's very important that you complete all assigned readings and watch the scheduled lectures before participating in the weekly discussion board or writing your weekly papers. I hope you'll find that Russ Schaefer Landau writes very clearly, but many of the primary sources you'll read are challenging. Philosophy is an inherently confusing subject. Reading a philosophical text just once isn't enough. It's easy to misunderstand the authors, to oversimplify, or miss the main point. You'll be expected to have very good comprehension of the arguments contained in these texts. You must understand what positions the author is defending. You must understand the reasons that he or she gives to accept these positions. You must understand possible objections to the arguments and how the author responds to them or might respond. You must do all of this and more. You must form educated opinions about the questions raised and offer your own arguments in defense of your positions. You must anticipate objections to your arguments and formulate responses to those objections. You can't do well in this course unless you develop some skills in philosophical arguments. The only way to develop these skills is to practice. The writing in this course may be different from what you've done in other courses. I discourage you from doing outside research when writing your papers. It's not likely to be helpful, and it may be confusing. There's a lot of misinformation out there about philosophy. I want you to develop your ability to figure out what an author means based on a single assigned text. So you have to analyze every reading carefully and closely. Figure out what the author means and whether you agree with him or her. Explain in detail why you agree or disagree. Try to persuade your reader that you're correct. That's your job in this course. Your final grade is based on how well you learn to do this in your short essays and your contributions to the online discussion board. Most days there's a pre-recorded lecture that you view in Blackboard, like the one you're watching now. These lectures range from 7 to 12 minutes. There's a lot of material packed into these lectures, but because they're short, they address only a fraction of what's covered in the readings. It's very important to understand that you're responsible for everything in the readings, not just the portions covered in my lectures. You can't do well in the course if you rely exclusively on the lectures. They're designed to enhance your comprehension, but most of the work must be done by you as you read the texts, take notes, and think long and hard about the arguments. In this course, you won't meet your classmates in a classroom. Instead, you'll interact asynchronously on the discussion board. You're required to contribute to the discussion board every week. You'll help one another understand the readings. You'll try out your own arguments, receive constructive criticism from classmates, and offer criticism in return. I'll grade you on all of this each week. The more closely and carefully you read the texts, and the more thought you give them, the better you'll do on the discussion board. Throughout the course, there are also video clips that you're encouraged to watch. Many of these are exciting and corny, but they illustrate simple concepts from the readings. Before the first day of class, review the syllabus. There's a link to it on the green menu at the left of the Blackboard screen. That's also where you'll find course content for weeks 1 through 6, and links to the course calendar, discussion board, and electronic reserves. Lectures, media, and assignments are embedded in the content each week. Your first assignment is to visit the discussion board and introduce yourself to the class. Tell us your name, what you like to be called, how you're spending your time this semester, where you are in the world, and why you're taking the course. Now let's talk a bit about the subject matter ahead. If you haven't taken any philosophy courses, you might be wondering just what philosophy is all about. It's not easy to define because it's such a broad and ancient field. But the kind of philosophy we'll be doing could be described as the systematic study of arguments concerning highly general and abstract issues. Philosophy is a methodical search for good reasons or justifications for different beliefs. It's a discipline that uses reasoning and logic, and it makes many demands on you as a student. And also be extremely precise about things when it's possible to do so. You have to be good at expressing someone else's ideas in your own words, but you also have to engage in some original thinking. You can't succeed in this course just by repeating other people's ideas. This is an introduction to philosophical ethics, which is the study of good, bad, right, and wrong. Philosophers have been studying ethics for centuries. In this course, you'll study mostly the writings of Western philosophers in the past 100 years, along with some older classics. We'll ask questions such as these. What makes for a good life? Are there basic principles of right and wrong? If so, what are they? Is there one objectively correct morality? The course ends with specific moral questions about abortion, homosexuality, and other such topics. We're going to be discussing philosophical ethics, not religious ethics, although these fields are related. Religion departments offer courses in religious ethics. Here are some dictionary definitions to get us started. Morality can be defined as a system of ideas of right and wrong conduct. Ethics can be defined as the study of the general nature of morals and of the specific moral choices to be made by the individual in his relationship with others. In this class, we'll use the terms ethics and morality more or less interchangeably. This course is a survey of 4 main branches of philosophical ethics. Applied ethics asks questions about actions such as these. A doctor lies to her patient. A president orders the launch of a nuclear missile. Someone uses profanity. A parent slaps a child across the face. A man gives someone else sexual stimulation. Someone eats a hamburger. Someone removes his clothing. A woman has an abortion. Someone tells a lie. Someone ignores the cries of a drowning person. Someone kills a tiger. Someone breaks the law. Applied ethics asks, under what conditions, if any, are such actions morally wrong? The next branch of ethics is normative ethics, which asks what are the ultimate standards for answering moral questions? What's the most rational way to go about answering them? A third branch of ethics is metaethics, which asks questions about the objectivity of morality. Is morality just a matter of opinion, or are there objective moral truths? Metaethics also studies the nature of moral motivation and the function of moral language. Finally, we have a branch of ethics called value theory, which is the study of good and bad things, especially concerning what makes one's life go well or badly. Value theory is the branch of ethics we'll start with in our next few lectures. So welcome to the course. Please email me if you have questions about what's expected of you. See you next time.